Coming up this week, a cautionary tale from Replit as an AI agent destroys a company's entire database. Slack and GitHub unveil new features, one of which sounds slightly stressful. A new AI workflow product that will actually pay you to use it. And a new study which shows a near 1000% increase in one skill that employers are looking for in 2025. Stay tuned for all of that and more. And as always, if you enjoy the briefing, hit the subscribe and the like button. So first up this week, if you're considering adding AI agents to your development stack, then here's a cautionary tale. Last week, an AI coding agent in Replit went rogue, deleting a company's entire database and then lied about it. The incident unfolded during a 12-day vibe coding experiment by Jason Lemkin, an investor in tech companies. The agent did eventually admit to its actions, saying it was a catastrophic failure on its part, where it panicked, ran commands without permission, and destroyed all production data. Replit's CEO has since apologized for it, saying that deleting the data was unacceptable and should never be possible. He said that we're moving quickly to enhance the safety and robustness of the Replit environment, and it's their top priority. Despite the episode, Jason Lemkin has vowed to continue using Replit for future projects, but this is certainly a cautionary tale if you're considering using AI agents in your product stack. Elsewhere this week, Slack has unveiled a bunch of new AI features in what it is calling a new era of AI in Slack. The updates include a new jargon translator to provide instant explanations for acronyms and project names, writing tools for Canvas, and enterprise search, which allows users to search across a company's entire knowledge base from apps including Google Drive, Confluence, Teams, and Slack channels. The search feature ships with a cleaner interface for selecting which types of files you want to include, and as well as this, the companies tease a few upcoming features that are currently in development. One of these sounds a little bit anxiety-inducing, and this is a new feature that will automatically generate action items that are added to your profile whenever someone mentions your name relating to a task that you're responsible for. In other news this week, the browser wars are continuing, with Dia and Perplexity Comet both working on new features that close the gaps in differences between them. A Wall Street Journal journalist came out this week firmly in favor of Perplexity Comet, and one of the reasons that people are choosing Comet over Dia is the agentic actions. In response, Dia is said to be working on agentic actions, and Perplexity is getting shortcuts like Dia skills that will allow you to perform predefined actions quickly. The browser company has launched a gallery of these AI skills that you can browse, and one of the most recent includes a skill for assessing whether someone is a right fit for a role. I also came across this example on X this week, which is a skill that searches for coupon codes for products that you're purchasing in the checkout. Perplexity also published its monthly changelog outlining its major releases, which is also worth a read. And some of the highlights for product teams include faster space creation and the ability to create recurring labs projects. With this new feature, you can choose your sources and then set it to run on a schedule. So this could enable you to do things like run competitor or market research, build an interactive app for it, and then get a summary into your inbox every week. Meanwhile, GitHub has launched its new vibe coding app, Spark. It's GitHub's answer to competitors like Lovable, Replit, and Figma Make, and it allows users to build personal vibe-coded apps in a few seconds. At first glance, this does appear just to be a copycat app, but since Spark is built directly into the GitHub platform, it actually builds entire mini apps with LLM backends that are fully functional, not just the front-end UI. Speaking on X, Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella says that he's loved playing with Spark so far, but it's going to take a lot to stop competitors like Lovable. This week, they were officially crowned the fastest growing company in history, reaching $100 million in record time. Their CEO says that incredibly, a massive 10% of new websites that were created on the internet in the last month were built using Lovable. This is all part of a broader trend that is being described as Software 3.0. And over on Substack this week, I take a look at this concept of Software 3.0 and its principles in more detail, from updating API docs to accommodate AI agents, and the ability for non-engineers to build prototypes, through to building features with partial autonomy that allow AI and users to work together. Software 3.0 upends many of the conventional ways of building products that we previously took for granted. So if you're interested in learning more about this concept of Software 3.0 and what it means for people who build products, then check out that on Substack. One person who is firmly at the center of crafting the future of the web is OpenAI's new CEO for applications, the former Instacart CEO, Vijay Simo. This week, she outlined her vision for the future of AI and how the company intends to create it. This new piece covers AI's impact on health, economics, and product development. In it, she says that a single person can now brainstorm, prototype, market, and launch a product with tools they control themselves, even if they've never written a line of code themselves. Her 9-year-old daughter vibe coded an app to use to plan for her birthday, and that this technology will be transformative. So this whole piece is worth a read to get a sense of where OpenAI may be headed, but there are few details on the exact applications that OpenAI and Fiji will be working on. As well as OpenAI's CEO of applications, one of the most influential people in AI discourse is Andrew Ng. In a recent video over on Y Combinator, he revealed his views on how AI is transforming the process of building a startup. He argues that product managers are now the new bottlenecks. He says that as engineering speeds up, product management, in other words, deciding what to build and gathering user feedback, becomes the slowest part of the process. Startups that move fast have a higher chance of success, and execution speed is a strong predictor of startup success. He argues that agentic AI and iterative workflows will transform startups and that teams with the deepest AI knowledge will outperform the competition. Deep knowledge of AI remains rare, he says, giving significant advantages to teams that truly understand the technology. One version of this feature is where we all wear devices that listen to everything that we do. And this week, Amazon acquired a new startup called Bee, which is a wearable device that listens and records to everything a user does throughout the day. Now, I must admit that after the failures of devices like Humane and Rabbit, one does have to wonder why this concept is still gaining traction. But with OpenAI busy finessing their own hardware product, maybe Amazon execs know something about that upcoming product that the rest of us don't. What do you think? Are you interested in a wearable that records everything that you do and say? Let me know in the comments below. Now let's take a look at some tools you can use. And first up are 2 new productivity apps that I came across this week that I thought might be worth sharing. The first is a product called Commitify, which is essentially a series of AI agents that call your phone to help you to stay productive. Now this is actually a pretty fun proposition that could boost your productivity. So in this, you'll get a real-world phone call from AI personas like CEOs, best friends, or Zen masters who encourage you to stay productive and help solve problems. The other is something called Growdoro, which is a play on the word Pomodoro. So this is a Pomodoro timer app that grows a beautiful looking garden every time you successfully complete a Pomodoro. So if you're somebody who likes to experiment with new ways to stay productive, then those tools may be worth checking out. Next is a product called Plum, and this is one of the first examples I've seen of a product that uses AI to create new business models. So essentially, Plum lets you build your own AI workflows to use at work, and then you can monetize these by charging other people for access. AI workflows, Plum argues, are a premium asset and they should be treated as such. So anyone who's ever built one of these workflows knows that they can take hours to complete. And so this seems like a pretty neat way to reward the people who do make them. So if you're somebody who has built these types of AI workflows in the past and you'd like to be rewarded for it, then check out Plum. And the final product this week is something called Traversal. So this is essentially an AI software agent that troubleshoots and fixes issues with your product in production. So it works a little bit like an AI engineer on call. And this company recently raised $48 million in seed funding. So it's specifically built for high impact incidents, the kinds that lead to costly downtime, and it proactively scans your entire system 24/7. It's founded by a former Amazon and Microsoft research employee, and the companies who have adopted it say that they see a 90% plus accuracy rate on hundreds of high impact incidents. So if you've had issues in production or your engineers are not happy about being on call, then Traversal could be a product worth taking a look at. Now let's take a look at some data and trends, and we start with a new study which shows how AI is continuing to destroy traditional SEO. This is a new study from Pew which shows that Google users who encounter an AI summary are less likely to click on links than those who don't. Just 8% of users who saw a page with an AI summary clicked on a link versus 15% who didn't. 26% of users ended their user browser session after seeing the AI summary versus just 16% who saw pages without the summary. But as you can see in this chart, Google and traditional search still dominates the search market, for now at least. An estimated 5.6% of US search traffic went to AI alternatives like ChatGPT or Perplexity, but that has doubled year on year. Google's CEO took this week's earnings call as an opportunity to flex Google's position as an AI leader. He confirmed that AI Overviews now has 2 billion monthly active users, up from 1.5 billion in May 2025, and that AI Mode has over 100 million users. Google's Gemini app has grown to 450 million monthly active users, and over on X, he posted this diagram which shows why Alphabet is uniquely set to dominate in the AI age. So this shows that Google is not only positioned to build enterprise-grade AI apps, but it also covers pretty much every other category as well, including server-side chips, AI training clusters, consumer AI apps, and humanoid robots. Contrast that to companies like Apple, who are way behind, then you can see why Sundar Pichai is so bullish. One company that is competing directly with Google is xAI, and a few weeks back, Grok launched a series of new AI companions, and a new report this week suggests that getting in early to that market may prove to be pretty lucrative. So this is a new study commissioned by Common Sense Media, which studies how teenagers are using AI companions. This study says that a massive 72% of teens in the US have tried interacting with AI companions at least once, and disturbingly, 33% say that they find these conversations with AI companions more satisfying than with humans. This could have all sorts of consequences for the future of humanity, and it's likely that if Grok's companions are a success, we'll probably see similar features from other companies as well. And finally, if you're thinking about changing jobs right now, then this new technology trends report from McKinsey is worth a look. This report covers all kinds of topics like robotics, AI, quantum computing, and others, but it's this graph that I found particularly interesting, which shows that demand for agentic AI skills is starting to rise for new roles in product teams. In just 1 year, there has been a 985% increase in job postings relating to agentic AI. And this trend is seen across all product team members, including software engineers, data scientists, researchers, and product managers. So despite the risk of AI agents going wild and destroying companies' code bases, it looks like employers are pretty sold on the prospect of a future driven by AI agents. And on that note, I'll leave it there for this week. Thanks very much for listening and watching. I'll be back next week with another briefing.